the steps coming back, like flexibility, strength, even before conditioning. Can you take us kind of through that timeline of when you were finally able to be semi-mobile and then start a rehab process?
Yeah, honestly, it's been so long that I kind of even forget what week I was walking and all that kind of stuff. But it takes a while where you're not really able to do anything. You're just sitting on the table getting manual work done by your therapist, and then eventually start getting out of boots, start working on mobility, and then once that comes, then it's getting your strength back, and then eventually you get to skate, and then obviously as the skating goes, eventually you get to play.
Does a doctor ever sit down with you and say, look at this picture, look at this MRI,
Yeah.
look at this, you know?
Yeah, so originally I think I was maybe going back to the surgeon like every 2 or 3 weeks, and you do a check-in, you do another x-rays. I didn't have to end up getting more MRIs or anything, but you get an x-ray to see how the bone's healing, and then he's like doing little tests on your foot, and then he'll be like, okay, this week you can start doing this, or when you come back, oh, maybe it's not good enough to start doing this yet. So that's the way it kind of goes. You check back in with him every couple weeks.
How challenging overall has kind of this road back been for you, and how maybe validating is it to be at this point and be so close to being able to get back?
Yeah, it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, especially the boys were on the road so much at the beginning of the year. You know, I had good quality time with my family, so I guess that was like the hidden good thing about all this. But at the same time, like it's very repetitive. You have to work your bag off, like even just to get something back, like mobility. Like that's a lot of hard work to get back, and the hard work just never stops. Like now I'm, in the gym every day doing that stuff, and then I'm getting bag skate every day, and this is kind of the point where I'm almost at my tipping point where it's like I just want to play a game. I'm sick of doing this stuff. I had a good mentality for most of it, but right now it's kind of been the toughest point for me.
You had those injuries, I think it was 21, 22. I'm wondering how this process compared to what you had to go through that time. Was this even a little bit harder than what you had
This
to
was longer. I think I maybe missed around the same amount of games in that one, but it was 2 separate injuries. So I played injured. This one's been just straight 4 months, and then obviously when you don't play for that long, you start questioning, how am I going to play when I return, and how am I going to feel when I return, and doubts start creeping into your mind, which is never a good thing. But as much as I have thought about that, I feel confident that I'm going to be as good as I've always been, and I've done a lot of work to get ready for this point, so I'm excited to play.
Have you watched over on tape what happened when you fell with?
Oh yeah, I've seen it on like Instagram or whatever, and
Yeah.
I mean it could have been a lot worse. That's the one thing. Like could have done my knee or something, Achilles, something like that. So probably best case scenario.
Yeah, and I don't mean to delve into. You knew right away, right? I mean,
I said right away when the trainer came up, I said I think it's broken.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel flimsy or something like that, but I don't know. I never felt that before, and so I just kind of guessed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knowing the fact that you hadn't played since like going back to the spring last year, that seemed like one hell of a long time.
Yeah, and that's the only reason the doubt creeps into your mind. I mean, at first I had doubt because I got on the ice, my ankle didn't feel great in the beginning, and I was like, oh, like I don't know if I'm going to be able to skate, keep up with these guys. But now I'm at the point where I know I'm going to be able to, and I know I'm going to feel good, and I'll be ready to play in games. But yeah, that's a long time to not play hockey. But we can get lots of touches in, and my game feels back. So
The fact that you've got to work with strength and conditioning guys and skills guys, do you feel maybe in some ways there's a silver lining underneath this?
well, yeah, I put on my the most upper body muscle I've ever had in my entire life, which I mean usually isn't great for a hockey guy, but I feel pretty good, look good. So, but yeah, no, and then I'm gonna come in. This is kind of the area of the season where guys are getting tired. Guys are like, oh, we have 40 games left, and then once 20 games left before playoffs comes, you kind of get the energy back. But there's a little lull usually during the season, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to be happy as could be and excited as can be and bring a lot of energy to the boys. And so, yeah, I think there's some good things, and then I should be, feeling perfect by the time playoff time rolls around. So I mean, you got to look at the bright side in these situations, and that's the way I've been looking at it.
And the fact that there's a little bit of a break too, and in a couple of weeks you'll get in, you'll play how many games you get in, then you do get a chance to kind of hit the reset, get some rest again.
Yeah, I'm still hoping I have that outside chance of playing in Four Nations, so I haven't. I don't want to break. I want to play, so we'll see what happens.
Your mentality, just kind of being tested over these last few months, what have you learned about yourself? Have you been able to overcome those thoughts, and maybe what's helped you get there?
Well, luckily, my kids at home take my mind off it a lot of the time. You know, they're running around, having lots of fun with them, drive me crazy too. And if I didn't have them, man, I would have been in one. I've never gotten a deep hole throughout this process. Like I said, right now is my toughest time because I feel like I'm ready to play, but I'm not playing yet. So I honestly went through it pretty well. I didn't have any deep ends or anything like that, and I think that's a lot to do with my family. I had a lot of support from back home, from my friends, from people in the organization, and obviously my teammates. So I was fine, to be honest.
I know you probably would want to play 28 minutes your first game back,
Yeah.
but has there been conversations? Are you kind of aware of, maybe what you might start by playing in terms of minutes? Or
We've had those conversations a little bit, and like I'm going to come back. I'm not going to play 9 minutes or something like that, or I don't want to anyway, and I don't think that's what they want. That's why I'm not necessarily playing right now, is because they want me to come in and be able to play close to, 15, 20 minutes. So, and then eventually just keep increasing from there. But I know when I get out there, I'm going to be looking over my shoulder, being like, I'm ready to go out for another shift. So. But yeah, so that's part of the reason. They want me 100% ready to be able to have the minutes, be able to play the way I need to play. So that's why they're there. I'm not playing yet.
Knowing how competitive you are, is that maybe the hardest part right now, is almost protecting against yourself, feeling
Well, that's
where
what
you're
they keep telling me. They're protecting me against me. They're not protecting me against, my ankle or anything. It's just me. Like, I would have loved to play already. So I get it. I just really want to play. So I'm frustrated, to be honest. But I'll play eventually. What's an extra couple games?
Drew, what have you learned about your team, your teammates, and some of the young guys like Spenny, Clark,
Yeah.
Mikey, that you've been such a big part of their development?
Yeah.
What have you seen in their games? You've got to be
Well,
pretty proud too.
Spenny's probably my favorite of, not my favorite, my guy I'm most impressed with. Rocky talked to him a lot in the beginning. You guys were on the road, but I was texting with him, calling him, stuff like that. And man, as he turned his game around, like, I bet you every team out there is watching him, wanted to trade for him. That's how good of a player he's been for us. And he's getting rewarded now, first PP minutes, and he fully deserves that. Obviously, Clarkie's had a good year. The whole decore's been really good, so that's a good thing. And then the team is just solid. Like, we have great chemistry off the ice and good leadership in the room. And, yeah, we got a good team, so I'm excited to get back and hopefully add a little boost for us.
A lot of the guys who have come back from injuries this season have noticed how difficult the team is to play against while they've been watching from a different perspective. For you, what's it been like watching the group this year, and what have you taken away from the way the team plays?
Yeah, well, we in the offseason, we got like more toughness, more grit, obviously good players as well, but we brought that element in, guys that are committed to playing the way that Jimmy wants us to play, and that's maybe not relating to how many goals everyone else wants to see, but we're winning games, and our defense that's our MO for however many years. Good defense, we win tight games. That's how you win in the playoffs anyway. So in my opinion, we're doing it the exact right way, and our team is solid, man. All four lines can play at any point. All deep pairings can play at any point. So, and our goaltending has been awesome, like really awesome. So that was obviously something that maybe people question at the beginning, and I'd never question it because I played with Darce and played with Ritter before, but goaltending has been absolutely huge.
Just to go back to your recovery one more time, when Louis was out and he was trying to get back, he said how helpful it was to have you around while he was trying to do that. And obviously nobody wants to be out and miss time, but what was it like for you having Louis back while the team was on the road?
Yeah, it was nice. Well, first I had Arthur Kaliev, so I was hanging out with him all the time, so we had a lot of fun together, and that made it easier. And then he left. Louis got hurt, so I had Louis, and yeah, it's way better doing it with someone. Now I'm kind of back on my own, and it's not as fun. But no, it's good to have some support there. Just have more energy in the gym and more energy on the ice and stuff like that. Then when the guys are on the road, you have someone to hang out with, so that was a plus too.